Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over a few articles on Activision Blizzard and basically discuss things that are fueling the dumpster fire that is their company. The first one we're going to get to is right on the Activision Blizzard website. We have King's Diversity Space Tool. This is an article by Eric Alt. It was done on May 12th. Sorry, I'm a little late on this. Yep, there was an update on the 13th, and we'll get into this before we get to the rest of it. There has been a conversation online regarding the diversity space tool, particularly concerning its intent and our commitment to diversity. We've edited this blog post to clarify that this prototype is not being used in active game development. We would like to add the following comment for additional context. Started in 2016, Diversity Space Tool, currently in beta, was designed as an optional supplement to the hard work and focus our teams already place on telling diverse stories with diverse characters, but decisions regarding in-game content have been and will always be driven by development teams. The tool was developed at King and has been beta tested by several developers across the company, all of whom have provided valuable input. The objective of using the tool is to uncover unconscious bias by identifying existing norms and representation and acknowledging opportunities for growth and inclusion. It is not a substitute for any other essential effort by our teams in this regard, nor will it alter our company's diversity hiring goals. Over the past several years, the development of the tool was done with the support of all our employee DE&I networks, and we collaborated with external partners to create an even more robust tool. The tool isn't meant to be used in isolation. Teams would sit down with company DE&I staff to identify existing norms and then discuss, educate, consult, and collaborate on how a character's representation is expressed beyond those norms. This process is intended to create conversation where our developers, assisted by the tool, challenge assumptions, assess choices, and find opportunities for authentic representation to be fostered in our games. Activision Blizzard is committed to reflecting the diversity of its millions of players around the world through representation and inclusion in its games as well as its employees. Our intent with this blog entry was to share an in-progress piece of our journey in this endeavor. We recognize and respect that all people may be on their own unique point in their journey with DE&I. The Diversity Space Tool is not a definitive evaluation of diversity in game content. Rather, it is a bridge in opening previously unspoken conversations into how thoughtful inclusion can happen and thrive in games. Oh, sweet Lord. The virtue signaling word salad that they've just flung out here in this statement is I gotta muscle through this. Good Lord. If you get a chance, if anybody does watch this, am I the only? Please let me know in the comments if I'm the only one that notices that they are so desperate to virtue signal that in all of this they haven't talked about how they're going to. All they're worried about is diversity and inclusion, but they're not mentioning how they're going to, improve their game's quality, improve story or anything. They just want to make sure that they get enough representation tossed in. I mean, I don't mind diversity in games, but come on. I would like a good story. I'd like a decent game to come out with. I mean, I can't really think of the last really good game that came out from Activision Blizzard that I mean, I'm sure there's others that there's plenty that people enjoy. That's fine, but nothing memorable to me. Nothing that you could say really sticks with you. At least from my perspective. I'm sure I'm probably wrong in a lot of people's mind on that one. Let me know that in the comments. But let's continue this painful journey through virtue signaling by a whole bunch of douche nozzles at a company that has had horrendous allegations lobbied against it. We want to see ourselves represented in games. Oh, dear Lord, you start right out the gate with narcissism. Never once in all my time playing, let's say, World of Warcraft, did I want to see myself in the 8-foot-tall Tauren shaman that I played. I just like the look of the character, the way I made him. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed all together. I mean, good Lord, what am I supposed to want to see? A overweight, balding cripple limping through just so I see myself in it? Good Lord, what type of narcissism requires you to do that? And heck, I love playing Tomb Raider games. Am I supposed to see myself in Lara Croft? Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to crawl through these narrow passageways as a very large person getting stuck just by looking at it, much less trying to crawl through it. But we'll continue. We want the barriers to access lowered. We want games to be welcoming, be a welcoming environment for all. Just look at the 2019 International Game Developers Association Developer Satisfaction Survey. We'll go into that after I'm finished reading this whole thing because I haven't even looked at that yet, and I'm kind of curious exactly. Do they strictly go for the Twitter mobs? They question nothing but the blue check marks, which asks developers what they consider to be the most important factor in the growth of the gaming industry. The most common response? More diversity in content. It's not even a question anymore. Really. So instead of asking your developers instead of asking what the people actually want to play the games, that pay for the games, because they buy them so you can develop them, right now we'd just be happy for you to release a game, for companies to release games that actually completely work. I mean, good Lord. I mean, we're basically paying to be beta testers without being told we're beta testing. We're paying to do that. We're paying full price to beta test something, even though they say that they've released a full game, but it's so full of bugs and doesn't work that half people can't even get the game to turn on. Yay! Look at what happened with Cyberpunk. However, the question that does remain is this: how do we convert this feedback from collective desire into tangible reality? As expected, the people at King are already thinking a few moves ahead. In 2016, King began developing a method for guarding against unconscious bias and exclusion when it came to the creation of their games and characters. At the time, this idea existed as an intangible philosophy, but the potential was obvious. Enter the MIT Game Lab. Alongside King, the MIT techs helped turn a mission statement into tangible software that would create and monitor guidelines for character conception and creation, looking into all the ways basic elements such as gender, body type, roles, hero versus villain, and even such granular factors such as pose or body movement can suggest powerful things about a character one way or another, according to King Globalization Project Manager Jacqueline. Jacqueline, I'm sorry, ma'am, I cannot pronounce that. Your last name. Please forgive me. Once MIT handed over the basic software, the team at King spent the last few years honing and developing it. Mostly as a volunteer effort, people were spending their hours off working on the tool simply because they believed in its potential so much. An important principle for us at King is that all players should feel welcome, said Jacqueline. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce your last name. The intention is to inspire game teams not just at King, but throughout the Activision Blizzard King network to think outside the box and challenge preconceived notions around how characters should look and act. As a result, hopefully, we will create more characters that break the mold and better represent women, non-binaries, and other underrepresented minorities in the industry. And here we go. Here it gets into how it supposedly works. How it works. The idea of a tool to make characters more diverse and inclusive may seem a little hard to wrap your head around in practice. It has to be more than just, say, a pop-up reminder that between 2017 and 2021, nearly 80% of the highest-selling games in the world featured white male protagonists, according to a study conducted by Diamond Lobby. Maybe I should look these people up too. It needs to become a part of the incubation process from the start, baked into the pipeline as an unmissable and consistent step, which is exactly what this tool was designed to be. The Diversity Space Tool is a measurement device to help identify how diverse a set of character traits are, and in turn, how diverse that character and cast are when compared to the norm, explains the lady from earlier. Once it establishes a baseline for typical character traits, which is done by the creative team working closely with DE&I experts, it can then weigh new character designs against it to measure their diversity. During this process, the tool can also uncover unconscious bias, such as why certain traits are seen as male versus female, or why characters from certain ethnic backgrounds are given similar personalities or behaviors. In this effort, the Diversity Space Tool can clearly delineate between token characters and true representation. The tool identifies what stereotypical characters in different genres look like, which are not always the most conductive or representative of diversity. It helps identify those stereotypes while also helping creatives look closer at their designs so they can dissect their own assumptions and presets. It also helps identify opportunities for more diverse character narratives to ensure that we are not only creating diverse characters in appearance alone. By starting at the character conception stage, the tool allows King and others to ask these important questions at the earliest possible moment to promote a more thoughtful creative choices from the ground up, which in turn leads to games that are more representative of their player base. Oh, dear sweet Lord. I'm I'm sorry, anybody watching. This is literally going to give me a migraine. I already had a headache going into this. It's going to turn past it. Should be blood squirting on my eyes by the end of this. Hopefully there isn't too much more to go. Sharing and caring. Over the past few months, King has let developer teams at Activision and Blizzard beta test the diversity space tool, and the results have been immediate and enthusiastic. The plan is to further test the tool internally for preliminary feedback across Activision Blizzard starting this summer. We strongly believe in the tool's potential to change the gaming landscape. You took TV, you took schools, you took movies. You basically burn more books in 1930s Germany that don't match your personal worldview. And you just can't leave it alone. We got no gaming left if this keeps up. Beyond gaming, the diversity space tool was designed for use in character creation concepts. This lady also sees it as having broader applications across all entertainment and media platforms. The traits and measures are applicable to wider entertainment verticals, including TV, film, and literature. The only change required, if used in these verticals, would be the baseline traits, which would need to be calibrated to be relevant to the genre and universe each character exists in. The lady admits that the application is still evolving and in fact is designed to continuously evolve as norms shift, the platform change in the end. You get out of it what you put into it and what you choose to take from it. Like anything, this is simply a tool that provides insight. It's up to the teams to create characters and games to apply them. And I guarantee you this is going to spread like a plague. You're going to have more virtue signaling companies that just want to talk about how diverse and inclusive they are, that are going to take up this garbage, basically, because at no point does it state anything about how this is supposed to further stories out. You're focused on, oh, well, we got to have representation. I must see myself in this. I must see that. What about, actually focusing on story of the game and shows and movies and books? They don't care about them. It's all a pointless virtue signal because they're pandering to people that won't even buy the products while shafting everybody else that actually does buy the products. But I guarantee you, with the way that this is worded and the things that they're talking about it doing, you're going to have more and more people that are going to see the fruits of their labors by making this, and the quality of story going down and gameplay going down, because the only thing important is diversity. We're going to watch the gaming industry die. We're basically going to be stuck. If we want to play anything worth having, it's going to have to be a JRPG, because at least Japan doesn't bend the knee to these people. But let's go on to the next part of this. I'm sorry this video is getting a little long. But this kind of relates to it. I got this over on Wowhead. Patch 9.2.5 social contract available for testing. On last week's, who wrote this article? Narissa, I think. It spelled like my cousin's name. She goes by Narissa. Anyways, on last week's PTR build, We data mined global strings for a social contract that outlines what behavior is not acceptable in World of Warcraft. On this week's PTR build, the social contract is now available for testing. You should see the social contract once you log in for the first time in patch 9.2.5 on your character selection screen. The social contract requires you to scroll down to the end, and then you can either choose accept or exit game. Selecting the second option will obviously exit game. Yeah. Okay, let's first they have on here what it actually says, because I can't read something that tiny. Hail, traveler, and welcome to the World of Warcraft. Azeroth is a living world full of people like you, other players with different backgrounds, cultures, experiences, and histories who have all come together to play World of Warcraft. Every player deserves to have a world that they feel safe in, so please take a minute to read our social contract. While in Azeroth, do your best to connect with other players and make friends. Being courteous in group content can help you and your teammates have the best time possible. Sending a friendly hello message can help set your group up for success. While play as a team with your fellow players, whether in dungeons, raids, battlegrounds, arenas, or out questing in the world. Do your best to support your team through your communication and behavior so that you can all celebrate your success together. Assist other players that you encounter in the world. Maybe they need help defeating a tough monster, or maybe they could use a little healing. Help answer questions others have in chat channels like General or Trade. We were all newbies once. One person offering some help can go a long way. We recognize that the internet is not always a safe haven. With that in mind, please note that the following behaviors are not acceptable in Azeroth. Hate speech, please define that, including negative comments that target another player's identity. Including aspects like race, gender, or ability, harassment, threats, or abuse / derogatory language and behaviors, spamming, advertising, or other disruptive behaviors. If you harm your fellow adventurers with any of the above behaviors, you are subject to punishment up to and including suspension of your account. It's a big world out there with all sorts of people in it, so please try to be respectful of each other, and if you ever feel like somebody is acting against this code, please please report those behaviors so that our team can look into it. Together you can help us make the World of Warcraft a safe home away from home for everyone. Now, that's where this next article comes in. It is on Game Rant. The article is by Max Borman. We're going to skip most of this. And this guy actually thinks this is has a idea of this. What this means for World of Warcraft. On the surface, the social contract really does not affect World of Warcraft much, as players can just agree to the social contract and enter the game. There is nothing tying them to actually listening to it, except for a possible repercussion from Blizzard. If Blizzard does not actively enforce the new contract, then nothing will come of it, and it will purely serve as a gesture from Blizzard, which is being accused of workplace harassment. However, if Blizzard does enforce it, then this new contract could go a long way to improving the community. Just like many online games, the current World of Warcraft player base has a toxic side to it. New players tend to head to the subreddit to learn how to play the game and are often met with downvotes alongside angry comments. If a player has not mastered the mechanics of a boss in a dungeon or played a lot of PvP, then they may also become the target of harassment through the in-game chat. This makes the game unwelcoming for new players and may even put off more veteran players. This new social contract goes against all of this in an attempt to build a more welcoming world. Players will have to actively work together and help each other, and that will make the game feel more like a community. While this social contract is only a minor step in the greater issue, if Blizzard supports it, then it could go a long way to improving the 18-year-old MMO. While some of the behaviors had already been laid out in the terms of service, making players agree to them before entering the game makes it seem like Blizzard wants to push these rules. Time will tell if this actually helps clean up the community or if it will fall flat. One, you just, like you stated, there was a terms of service. Stuff covered in the terms of service, which you already have to agree to, you nitwit. Before you even get to this point, you download it. You have to agree to terms of service. But, what do you expect? There's people that just want it. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, because I feel dumb about it, I got to go back to the developer satisfaction survey, just because. Why not? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Authors, acknowledgements, contents, introduction, overview, demographics, diversity. Oh boy. This is what they're looking for. Huh. Oh dear Lord. And some people wondered, well, why did they sell to Microsoft? Well, because their company was dying, and it's stuff like this that's only going to make it worse. Well, I'm sorry this video took so long, and I'm sorry a lot of stammering and stuff. I do appreciate anybody who took the time to watch this. I really do appreciate it. If you think I earned it, please leave a like. Definitely comment. If you think the video was garbage, please let me know. Good, bad, or ugly, I just, I'd like to know where I could improve, how to improve, stuff like that. If you think I've earned it, please leave a like. If you really think I earned it, please subscribe. I've been trying to do more live streams here lately because I feel more comfortable in them. No, it sounds weird. But I got to get back into doing videos, and there's a few on the horizon that I'm really wanting to get out. But I thank you very much for your time. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you in either the next video or live stream.